So this is gonna be one of those talking to myself kind of videos. So it recently occurred to me that what we are doing is we are speaking language into reality. For example, what we talk about the most, what is that is like the most important thing to us, right? What we as humanity talk about the most. So, and what occupies our attention. But more, it's like in the way we talk about things. That's where the trick is. Like we are manifesting our own reality by way of what we talk about. Also thinking is involved, of course. But what we talk about the most and what we consider the most important issues in life. And the way we talk about these things is creating the kind of reality that we have to live in. So, for example, this thing about capitalism. Capitalism versus communism, or any other kind of ism. So when we say I am a capitalist, that means you not only approve of that system, but you endorse it and you live by it, and you think that that is the most important thing in your life, and you feel it worthy enough to put your life on it. Generally speaking, it becomes, in general, that's how you live. You're a capitalist. Okay, you're not a socialist, you're a capitalist. But these false pairs of opposites, like capitalists versus socialists, they present these things to us like that is the only choice. There is only two choices. So whichever way we vote, we are supporting either one of their choices, because they have created these two choices, whoever they are, the controllers. They are very sneaky. They create these things where the average human cannot detect it, that they are being controlled mentally. So, for example, what if we threw away capitalism and socialism altogether? Just threw it away. Now it doesn't exist. And we start talking about humanism. So what will be the dynamic that exists then when humanity becomes the most important thing? It's not one thing versus another, it's we. There is only we. We are unified. If we start talking about humanism, we will become unified, because nobody can say that, oh, I am against humanism, because everybody is a human. But if you divide along false ideals like capitalism and socialism, these are completely concocted ideas. They are not natural. They don't exist in nature, therefore they are unreal. They are mental fictions. And we are willing to kill each other for a mental fiction that doesn't really exist, yet we want to kill each other over it. At the very least, put them in jail or impeach people because we don't agree with their ideology. So why don't we change the ideology from both of those opposites to just humanism? There is no anti-humanism. Who would vote for that? Vote for that if he's a human? Yeah, I'm sure there are aliens who would vote for that, but we humans, if we all concentrate on being a human as opposed to a capitalist or whatever, then we become what we speak of. It's like Adolf Hitler said that if you repeat a lie long enough, it will become true. No, it won't become true, but people believe it and consider it true. That doesn't make it true, because that's another illusion. So we have to just stick to reality, and a lot of people have a hard time doing that. So I'm just having a nice beer, Lagunitas, little something. Oh, and having some ganja. So excuse me while I smoke this up. I have to put the phone down. I'll be right back. So that's what I was thinking about lately, and it's becoming more and more clear that the controllers, they know that this is how it works. What you speak of becomes the reality. What you hold in the highest esteem will be the foundation of your reality and everybody else's reality, because we exist in a unified field as humanity. Yeah, we are the unified field of humanity. But we are schizophrenic right now because we don't understand our unity. We don't recognize it. We are still unified because we are all human, or most of us. But we don't recognize it on the individual level. Most people don't think about these things. I do think about them a lot, because to me these are the things that are important and fundamental, and I am looking for a way to tweak the reality for the benefit of the people, and make things better for everyone. because I don't just want to be happy myself. I don't just want to have fun with myself and maybe some close friends, but I want everybody to be happy. That would be an amazing world if everybody was fulfilled and happy and pleasant to be around, and we wouldn't even need money to feel that way. In fact, the money creates a lot of the separation in society. The money separates people. There is class distinction everywhere. Maybe it's not spoken of because it's taboo, but everybody's looking up to someone, and everybody's looking down to someone or on someone. See, that's a separation idea. It's a schism in your mind, because where do you belong? And it's all relative, you know. Depends on where you are on the scale. You can look up or down to other different people. So the money is a huge separator. That's how we have the elite, and we have the slums. In every city there are slums now, because the poor people don't know what to do anymore, and they don't have jobs, and the rent is so high that nobody can afford it anymore. So here in California, it's everywhere. People are living in tents, RVs. Like, imagine a line of 60 RVs on a street. Totally illegal. Not that I give a shit, but it looks bad, because you see the poverty in it, and it's not like nice RVs. It's just really old, beat up campers that somebody bought because they have thrown them out of their apartment or something, or house. This is an epidemic in California right now. I was surprised. I usually don't go into major cities, but when I do, I see these things, and I am surprised myself. I live here. I don't see it in Willows or Santa Rosa a little bit, but it's mostly in San Francisco and San Jose, and all the major cities have this problem. She looks ugly, actually. It's like America is down in the gutter. So I don't know where all this great economy is going, because I can feel it here in California. It's really hard to sell anything. People don't have money. You can't even sell books anymore, or you know, if you want to move and you just want to sell some of your stuff. My friend just did that today with for a friend of mine, and they couldn't sell anything on Craigslist. You know, books, furniture, household items. Nobody bought anything. And I have the same problem with my mechanic business, mobile mechanic business, engine rebuilding and such. I'm having a really hard time making money. So I don't know where is this great economy. I mean, people should have money if there was a great economy, but it doesn't look like it. I don't know, maybe this is just California, because the liberals really really messed things up. Like they destroyed this state. They completely destroyed it in 30 years. So anyway, but that's what we have, because we talk about this politics, socialism versus capitalism, or socialism versus conservatives or Republicans. What are these things? You know, we just want clean water and a place to live. Okay, land is hugely important. They took away our land, and with that they turned us into slaves, because now we have to work for the corporations. It was done intentionally. They made legislation and situations, the bankers, where they have confiscated everybody's land, because they want everybody in the cities. Okay, because that's how you become a 9-to-5 slave. If you live on your own land, you're not a 9-to-5 slave. You just steal the soil, and things come out of it, and the land can support you. Very small amount of land can support you. But everybody likes to be a slave, because they sold you these trinkets like cell phones and gadgets, you know, whatever electronics. This is a huge business, and people eat it up like it's the greatest thing. No, it's destroying you. These electronics are destroying people. Yeah, I know, I'm recording this on a cell phone. But there is a difference between how you use a cell phone. People are so addicted today. They get killed because they don't look up from their cell phone and walking all over the place. Thousands of people died from cell phones. That's like the most hilarious thing I can imagine. And it's going overboard. It's getting out of hand, because people don't have real lives anymore. Don't have real conversations, real friends. It's seldom you can have a satisfying conversation with somebody. So we are destroying ourselves with these gadgets, yet people love it. Is this our fate, that we just have to walk blindly into the walk off the cliff or something, like lemmings? Can't we evaluate our present situation and look ahead and figure out, oh, this is not gonna lead to a happy place? Think about it, guys. What we are doing to the planet, we are practically raping the planet and then polluting it, poisoning the water supply, poisoning the land with pesticides, and it all goes into the water table, and then we suck it up and distribute it to everybody to suck on it. Suck on that poison that we sprayed on the crops, that we sprayed in the cities, all the roach killers, and all these people walking around with cans of spray bottles, spraying shit. Have you seen these people? Who are they? What are they spraying for? You know? Are we exterminating the cockroaches or the humans? Nobody knows what's going on anymore. Think about it. The government has tried to kill us hundreds of different ways already. And we're just gonna like, yeah, so what? That's stupid. Is that how stupid we have become? That we don't care about our own well-being and our children's well-being. I didn't have children on purpose. I'm not gonna bring an innocent soul into this hell that we have created. And it seems to be getting worse. In the 90s, I was making very good money, even in the 2000s. I was making very good money as a mechanical engineer. I was making $106,000 for like over 20 years. No, well, I worked myself up to that, but in the end, I was making $106,000 when I figured out the whole corporate bullshit and deception, and I quit my job back in 2009, and I've been living outside the system 90% good. Most people don't realize that there is ways to get around the system. Not to get around it, but you can live in ways where you have a minimal footprint in the system. And that way is living in a motorhome, and I am also running on vegetable oil, so I don't pay for fuel. My monthly rent is $400. So this is what I'm talking about, the small footprint in the system. That doesn't mean you don't have money. You have enough money. Well, lately that's also questionable, but for years I was doing very well living outside the system. You know, just doing cash jobs here and there, mechanic jobs, and pursuing my happiness, you know. Going traveling. I was not like a bum. Don't think that. I was living in a motorhome and a trailer here and there, but I was making enough money to go traveling around the world 3 times. And you don't need a lot of money. You need maybe $15,000-$20,000, and you can go away for 6 months. So this is one of the advantages of living outside the system, that you have more time because you don't have to report anywhere. You know, you're doing your own thing. Any kind of business you can do, whatever floats your boat, whatever talents you have. And yeah, you can sell stuff on eBay, but it's better if you do something creative, like something that makes you happy, like a hobby, and figure out how to make a living out of your hobby. I did that. I've been building veggie oil conversion systems, selling diesel engines, and that was pretty good money for probably 7 years. Only in the last 3 years it's been going downhill. So I actually don't see what Trump is talking about. I'm not saying he's lying or anything, but I don't see it in California. And in my profession, things have been going worse for about 3 years. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe elsewhere things are looking up. I don't know. I'm just here. You know, I like what Trump is doing. Some of the things, most of the things I like. But I wouldn't wait for him to fix everything. Excuse me. I wouldn't wait for him to fix everything because he's just one guy. Granted, he's the president, he can do a lot. But we have to fix our own local environment. You know, there is too much corruption everywhere, in the police, in the government, in the corporations. There is way too much corruption and way too much greed. So this is what's coming back to the point I was making about capitalism. Why do we think that that's the most important thing that we could be doing with ourselves? Being capitalistic, meaning you like run around to make money all day. You're running around, you're exhausting yourself, you're getting old, you're damaging your body, you're stressed out, but you're making money, right? And that justifies anything. Like people are getting cancer and everything. Like USA is like one of the sickest countries on the planet because of this huge affluence that we have. But maybe what we have is not affluence, but an illusion. We have an illusion of wealth because we place all our value system on the outside. What is important to me? Oh, I have a nice shiny car, and the neighbors are jealous. Is that what's important, or is it a human connection to your fellow human being? God forbid it was your neighbor. So we lost this feeling of family. We are a human family. I remember this when I was growing up in Hungary. There was something about being a human, like some visceral feeling about it. And then there was the other thing, that being a Hungarian, that was another thing. Like that's a closer family tie, being a Hungarian. But it was not a national identity or anything like it. It was just a feeling. It was not about the flag and national identity, nothing like that. It was like we know each other. Being Hungarians, we know each other. We talk a certain way, we think a certain way. Like it's extremely difficult for foreigners to learn Hungarian because we think so differently. Like there are sister languages like German, English, Spanish. These are sister languages. They think alike, although they use different words, but the structure of the language is the same in all three cases. But the Hungarian is so different that you express yourself completely differently. And this is not something that can be explained unless you know Hungarian. So we were feeling each other that we are Hungarians. Like maybe you have the same feeling in your family. Now imagine that, feeling that on a national level. and then the global level. So this is what we lost, and this is why we are quarreling with each other and beating each other over the head for trinkets, like this fucking money that grows on trees. Actually, did you know that money grows on trees? Yeah, it's made of paper. Yeah, and paper made from trees. So money does grow on trees, but we are killing each other over this paper, or even worse, digits in the computer somewhere. We are killing each other, poisoning each other, hating each other, and this is just a really incredible demise that happened to humanity. It's a demise. It's a losing your most precious soul or something. If there was a thing called a human soul, this would be like losing your soul, losing this identity, this familiarity, this connection between us. That's the common soul, maybe. So see what happens when we are talking about different things, then different things become important. So if we are always talking about, you know, what's on TV and you know, what's on politics, then those things become important. But is that the best we can do? See, so we are speaking our reality into existence by way of what's important for us to talk about. See what I mean? So we have to change our mind about what's important for us. And this could be like the Achilles heel to shift the matrix without creating a third world war or, you know, any other catastrophe. We have to change our minds about what's important to us, and that will create a completely different world, because we will put our energy into different things than before. So these are the things I am contemplating when I smoke pot and maybe have a beer or two. These are the things that I think about and talk to myself about, because I find it very effective even for me to understand my own position if I speak it out loud when I am alone. It helps me to understand myself. And of course I am always refining my own understanding about life. And this has been an incredible journey, because I've been working on this for probably all my life, but at least since I was a teenager, and I am 53 now. So it's been an incredible journey to understand what I understand now about how things work actually. Because I am a fixer-upper. I have to understand the problem, and then I can envision the solution and then implement it. And just recently this came to me, like, because I asked the question to the universe, what is the Achilles heel of the matrix? How do you change it? How do you change it for the better? that it serves everyone, instead of, you know, messing with everybody's mind and health and sanity, actually. Yeah. What is life? This is another thing. What is this life? Have you thought about it? They say it's material, but I have had experiences where it wasn't. Like everybody thinks that we are living in the material universe. So again, how do you understand that you are living in a material universe? Is it that what you see is actually matter, or is it the simulation of matter? Is there actual matter in things that we think they are material things? And of course, we all know the model of the atomic system. But what if it's just a holographic projection? Because I have seen shape-shifting entities in the physical, not astral. I have seen a shapeshifter in the physical in Thailand. And that's another story I don't want to get into right now. But I know that these things exist because I saw it. So how is that possible if there is real matter existing in every object? Then you can't change it. It's just matter. You can change it with a saw or a bomb, but you can't just morph into something else at will. But that's what happened. This being shapeshifted in front of me for about 1 second, and then back to human. And I cannot even describe what I saw. It was some demonic face. It was a demonic entity. 1 second, that's all it took. So if these things can exist in the physical, then do we really understand where we are in matter? We think we are in the material universe. Really? Then how does this thing happen? So it's not material. Whatever we are experiencing here is not material. And we all have different perceptions of what we are seeing. That's why there is so many arguments and misunderstandings. I'm trying to change my hand is getting tired. So see where I'm going with this? These are the fundamental things that nobody wants to examine. They just want to live in La La Land. But then they run into some obstacles and they hurt themselves, and then they don't know what happened because they thought it was one way and it wasn't, and then it wasn't. So you run into, you could create your own demise if you're not watching where you step, right? So we have to keep aware about our environment and what's going on. And then you see something that doesn't fit into the existing picture, and that should make you think about it and re-examine your whole reality. That's the way I do it. It's hard work. Most people are not willing to put that much effort into it. And that's exactly how we created a world that is not in service to anyone. I don't know why this thing is not focusing properly. I already cleaned the lens. Oh, is that better? Maybe. Okay, so anyway, it's coming to 42 minutes now, so yeah, this is not a closed conversation. This is not gonna be solved in a few videos, but I'm planning on creating more videos like this and see if people appreciate it, or you know what's going on here. These are the things I like to think about. These are the things I like to talk about and philosophize about, because we all have to understand who we are, and the environment is a big aspect of it. We have to understand our environments to understand ourselves, and just go deeper in both directions. You know, it's like the outside and the inside. Just go deeper in both directions, and that's how you expand your consciousness. And that should lead to some kind of growth, like growing up and maturing into a fully fledged human being that is in touch with his environment and himself. So I am a humanist. I could never sign up to any of these political parties. Yeah, if I had to choose, I would be a Republican, but these are just labels. I find some concepts in the liberal idea that are attractive, but they use the attractiveness of those ideas for false power grab. Those ideas are there to grab and keep the power. They are not genuine about it. Okay? So it's like, yeah, healthcare for everyone, and you know, m- minimum wage, higher minimum wage, and um, a basic income for everyone. Yeah, I can see it. I can see the basic income thing, because actually we own the land. We, the people, own the land and everything in it, all the resources in it. We own it. It's not the corporations. Yes, I know they bought up a lot of shit already, but this is not something that can be sold, because the corporations are, number one, they are fictions. Okay, they don't exist as we exist. We have existence. Human beings have the spark in them, the divine spark, the isness. So we own everything, not the corporations. I don't care how much money they paid for it. They don't even exist. They are letters on a piece of paper, the corporation. They are a mental fiction. So they don't have the same rights as flesh and blood human beings who do really exist. So this is another huge topic that I probably have to make many videos on. So the corporations should pay us for the use of our land and the resources in our land. They should pay us profit sharing or whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line is they have to pay us for this, for whatever they are taking out of the ground and using it. I mean, they should send you money in your bank account, not to the government. Who knows the government, what they're gonna do with it? I want money trickling into my bank account on the monthly basis, because they are using my land. Okay? We are all human beings. We exist on this planet, and this is our planet. Okay? If anybody want to contend it like aliens, they can fill out an application somewhere. Okay? But we claim this planet as our own, and everything in it. So the fictitious entities like corporations, they have to pay us for everything that they are taking out of the land. They have to pay us. Not that we have to pay taxes to the government. We own the government. The government doesn't own us. See, they are trying to turn everything into its reverse. We own the government. We created the government. We, the people, created the government for our benefit, not their benefit. Okay, these things have to be made clear again, because they seem to have confused the issues in the government. And that's why Trump is trying to straighten things out. But it's like an infestation, or some kind of bacterial growth on a wound. This government has become malignant. So one guy, he can do a lot, but he has his limits also. So that's why we have to think about things differently. That's how you change the world. You don't change it by protesting. You have to start thinking differently and speaking differently about the relationship between things. We own the government. End of story. We own the land, and all the corporations have to pay us. This has to be said. If nobody says this, then it will not happen. Okay? And then if you agree with me, then you have to say it to other people. Because this has to spread. That's how you take over the system. You spread different ideas. That's how they did it to us. They started spreading different ideas. Originally, we did own the land. Okay? That's in the Constitution. Nobody even remembers the Constitution anymore. I've been studying it for about 9 years. And it's one of the greatest things that anybody on this planet has going for it, the American Constitution. That's why I came to this country, because even when I was 20 years old, I heard about this. And that's why I came to this country, to be where that Constitution exists. This is amazing. What you guys have, you have no idea what you have here. You are the king and queens of this land. All of you. You are kings and queens, and you have royal rights. These rights that the Constitution talks about, this only royalty had it in Europe. The peasants didn't have this. And you don't know what you got, and you're talking against it. Some of you, like the liberals, they are talking against the Constitution like it's antiquated. No, this is your treasure from your founding fathers. You have no idea what you have here, because you don't look into it, you don't study it, so it becomes forgotten. That's exactly what they are counting on. See, this is back to the original proposition. We speak language into reality. If we don't talk about something, it goes away. So we have to bring it back and keep talking about it and enforcing it, and demanding that they straighten things out and turn things right side up. Because right now everything is upside down. I tell you that. It is crazy how far things have gone in the wrong direction. And they are really counting on you not finding this out. Most people don't know what I'm talking about. And you cannot separate any subject from anything else. The spiritual, the political, the scientific, you cannot separate anything from anything else, because it's all interconnected. Okay? I can talk about spirituality and then the next minute I'm talking politics, because it's all interconnected. That's what I see. And that's the other thing, this compartmentalization that they have created, with everybody being specialized in something. That's how they changed everything, actually, because nobody knows enough about a lot of things to have an intelligent conversation anymore. Everybody's specialized in their own field, and they are completely dumbasses about everything else in the world. Like in science, the specialization is horrendous. The chemists have no idea what the microbiologists are doing. or biochemistry. That's also chemistry, but chemistry is just dealing with dead matter. Biochemistry is dealing with living matter. So, and they don't cross pollinate. They don't know where one is going and the other, and there are all these conflicts between these major disciplines nowadays because they don't communicate with each other, and there is nobody who understands enough of them to make sense of the big picture. I am a big picture guy. I look into everything because I don't limit myself in any way to a certain subject. See, I'm not a politician. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a spiritualist. Yet I know enough about all of those things to put it together and understand the big picture. And what I see is that very few people understand the big picture. Trump is a big picture guy, but generally speaking, the American people don't know what's going on in this country, and how they are being deceived by the media and um, you know, the government. I mean, they are legislating away all your rights basically. You know, they say that you have the freedom of speech, but now they have free speech zones. Like, what is that? I thought the whole country was a free speech zone. And the rest is what? You can't speak your own truth, or what? What is this free speech zone? You can say whatever you like, whenever you like. Even if you're lying, you can say it, but there will be consequences. The free speech doesn't mean no consequences. See, that's another thing. They have corrupted the meaning of the free speech. Yeah, you can lie, but there will be consequences. And if you do something negative like lying, there will be negative consequences. And if you do teach the truth to people, there will be positive consequences. So it's like whatever you put out is what you get back. That's cause and effect. That's another thing they don't teach. They don't teach that there are consequences to your actions. The millennials have a very hard time with this. They don't understand it, that it's automatic. Not that if nobody saw me, I will get away with it. No. The universe sees everything. You could call it God or whatever. That's another thing. I don't want to get into that. The universe is conscious. It's a conscious universe, and it's got powers you can't imagine. Okay? So the universe knows what you are doing. The universe knows your intentions of why you are doing what you're doing. Even if you don't know, the universe knows why you are doing what you're doing. So you cannot hide your ill will toward another by thinking that nobody saw you. The universe sees everything. So, wow. Yeah, I can go on and on about this thing. But this is like a good brainstorming session for anyone who's interested in this kind of exercise. I call it figuring out what's real exercise. Okay, so looks like it's been an hour. Yeah, I probably should keep it at least under an hour. Okay, so you guys let me know in the comment section if this was any remotely interesting or anything. And let me know what you think. All right. Yeah, this should be like a constructive projects. Like we threw in each our 2 cents, we threw into the pot and see what we get, and try to make sense of it. You know, I'm not saying I'm right about everything, but I like deep thinking. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.